To make sure that I'm actually saving, I pay myself first before paying any bills. Thank you so much for this comment. My name is Gaby Rincon. I'm a money coach and financial strategist. I specialize in working with the first-gen BIPOC community and empowering them to live money stress-free. If you've been paying any attention to any kind of finance expert or any personal finance books, podcasts, etc., then you've probably heard about this wealth rule of pay yourself first. It's a pretty non-negotiable. The idea that no matter what, before paying for any living expenses, any discretionary expenses, anything like that, you pay yourself first. But what does this actually mean? It essentially puts the priority on your long-term financial health, on your long-term stability, on ensuring that you are secure and that you're accumulating wealth. Because instead of saving the leftover or, save whatever you don't end up spending, you actually flip that. And it's this is what I want to save, this is what immediately gets transferred, and everything else is what I'm able to spend on life and joy and etc. Now, following this kind of wealth rule can look like making sure that you're contributing to your 401k, right? So your retirement savings are automatically deducted from your paycheck. Maybe you're even increasing them as much as possible, maxing out. Or maybe any emergency fund savings immediately being transferred to your high yield savings account upon payday, or even better, if your employer allows, you can actually split your direct deposit and it goes directly into your account. Or it could even look like you making your Roth IRA contribution immediately upon getting paid. It essentially views your own savings, your own kind of payment, your own wealth accumulation as the most important bill that you have. This is obviously really healthy and what we want to get to. But for most of my clients, most of our community, we're not necessarily ready for that yet. Think about financial health as a spectrum with on one side, on an unhealthier side, we've got financial instability, financial, dysfunction, where behaviors like missing bills, a lot of overdrafts, not really looking at your finances at all, those kinds of habits are associated with this side of the spectrum. Right in the middle, we've got financial stability. So here you're okay, your income's pretty stable, you're able to pay your bills on time and in full every month. We've got things kind of in cruise control. We're here, we're steady, we're stable, not necessarily super accumulating wealth, but again, we're not in this detrimental state anymore. And on the other side of the spectrum, you've got financial empowerment, eventually financial freedom, right? Where you are prioritizing, you have prioritized your wealth accumulation so much, you have very low liabilities, or at least not high interest debt, no consumer debt, you've got a lot of assets, right? Maybe different income sources, etc. Now, once we've gotten to this kind of neutral and even kind of healthy side of the spectrum, we are absolutely following the whole pay yourself first. But if we're still over here, the thing is that we almost can't even fathom the idea of paying ourselves first, because we've got so many other things that we have to think about and it's overwhelming. So in order to transition us over fully into the spectrum, we've got to start small, right? I'm always talking about building little habits, little micro actions first in order to move us into healthier habits overall. Then eventually totally following our wealth accumulation rule. I've seen this so often working with clients one-on-one group setting where we're developing a savings habit and we start off with some strategies of okay, let's increase our income a little bit and that difference, that's what we end up putting towards savings. Or maybe decrease our expenses a little bit and that's what we end up putting towards savings. Yes, it's a little bit, right? But we're actually building the habit of putting something into savings and then leaving it there. However, we're not doing the pay yourself first thing yet. Because when we're doing stuff like that, what we're really after is that mindset shift of okay, now I'm viewing myself as a saver. I am saving. I can save because it's clearly happening. I am transferring it over to my savings account. It's growing. It's actively getting bigger. Then we increase that amount. Right now it's coming maybe directly from our paycheck, of our original salary. Maybe we don't even feel we're working more or missing out on certain things because it's oh my God, I'm totally saving. This is so cool. Look at my account. It's gone to $500. It's gone to $1,000. It's gone to $3,000, whatever that number is. But chances are if you've gotten to this point, you've never been there before. So it's a really, really exciting thing. And then the natural progression becomes, okay, let's pay yourself first. That is my number one priority. Now that I see myself as somebody who does this, as somebody who prioritizes their financial health, I can absolutely do this because it's a non-negotiable now. So I completely agree that we want to get to the point where we pay ourselves first. But depending on where you're starting out from, like where are you on the financial health spectrum, we might need to take some extra steps before getting there. That doesn't mean that it's like a bad thing at all. It just is. It's our own journey, and the whole goal is to progress. Thanks again for the comment. I totally agree that that's what we want to build towards, and we all want to be following this number one wealth rule of paying ourselves first. And as always, for an in-depth look at your financial situation, one-on-one support with implementing strategies that will get you to a healthier part of our spectrum, please book a consultation. I'd love to work with you.